when you think of the organization and the education, the divine education that it provides, and really it is at no cost. There is no government on earth today that educates its citizens like the kingdom. The first thing that goes in a government, if they get into an economic problem, first thing they cut is education. Teachers are cut out, schools are closed. Instead of that, here we increased education, and Jehovah's organization has always been progressive, but education, divine education, has been vital and still is and will continue to be for years to come.
Hello, everybody. Really, dear, we don't even know where to even begin on this one. Wow.
Somebody emailed us, was it yesterday or the day before or something?
It was a friend on Facebook, yeah. So thank you.
Have you seen this video Watchtower's got on JW.org about higher education? I can't even say it with a straight face. I watch this video and it's so freaking ridiculous. At one point, the sister says, "Oh, we have nothing against higher education. It just depends on who's teaching it." I'm telling you, this is so laughable. I mean, it's Watchtower anti-higher education propaganda bullshit at its finest. Patheticism at its best. Yeah, so we're going to get the laughing done first before we can get into this thing, because it's so ridiculous.
Well, first, I guess I should make a correction. We did a video that was talking about I forget the name of it, but the ambiguous, it was the hermaphrodite.
Oh,
yeah, and I just wanted to make a correction. In the video, I was saying hermaphrodite. It's actually hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodite, yeah.
So, you have a correction.
I knew that.
Well, why didn't you tell me so I could correct it back then?
I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention to what you were saying.
So we just got that. That's actually from our old channel. We just got that one uploaded. Since I had lost my voice, that's what I was doing, is I was uploading old videos from our old channel.
Are you still playing that sick card still? Good Lord.
Hey, I've been sick. I thought I was going to die.
But you're still playing that card. Good Lord. All right, let's get back into this education.
Okay, this is on JWTV for the January broadcast, and there's a video they have that is about, 5 minutes long, and it's called Higher Education. Yeah, we're still laughing about this. We've had to watch it twice because we get to laughing so hard that we have to stop it, and then we have to go back. And I just want to mention that they're putting so much emphasis on, this education from Jehovah. The education we got within this religion for decades, because we were both raised witnesses, doesn't matter a hill of beans. And what we learned 30 years ago is completely changed now. So, this education, I was educated by Jehovah's Witnesses for 49 years. I'll put that on my resume. And see if that gets me as a job as a bank teller.
Put that on your resume.
I was educated by Jehovah's Witnesses for 49 years.
I went to the Pioneer School for 2 weeks. Let me put that on a resume and see how much more money that makes me. God, unbelievable.
Yeah. So I was telling Shyla about this video and some of the points they made. So she gave me a few things to add in that we will be bringing in later.
Yeah, because we got to mock this one. This is so frigging ridiculous to hear what comes out of these people's mouth. And of course, we're going to do only what we can do, and that's mock it.
Yeah. So, are we ready to play this?
I guess we're ready for the first clip. Oh, my goodness.
I actually almost feel sorry for this couple because...
There's no ambition in life but to serve Jehovah.
Yeah, let's see when they reach about 50 years old. And, no bank account, no
when
insurance.
The arthritis is kicking in. And, yeah, they don't have any insurance or anything. Oh, yeah. Let's see what this Jehovah education gets you then.
Yeah.
Anytime we have a chance to be educated by Jehovah, we should always take it. Jehovah's standard of education, it's such a higher level. We do value good, higher education. We just want to make sure it's the right people teaching it.
It's just the right people teaching it. God. I mean, how delusional can anybody be? Oh, we do value higher education. It's just, the right people teaching it.
And I tried to find the article this morning. You can ask Mike. I was searching all over, our Watchtower library, trying to find the quote. And I swear, back in the 80s, they actually made the quote. And if anybody remembers this and know where it is,
please.
If you want to help us out, just post it below. But they actually said, I believe, if you read the Awake magazines,
if you read every Awake magazine for an entire year, you would receive your equivalent of a college education. So if anybody can remember where that article's at, we'd love to.
I guess that means I have a freaking bachelor's degree.
Yeah, I guess I've been reading this crap for 42 years. Yeah,
I got a bachelor's degree.
Let's put that on a resume. I've been reading the Awake magazine for 42 years. I'm educated. But we did happen to find one from the Watchtower, 2008, April 15, page 3 or 4, and it says, repudiate valueless things.
I'm sorry.
So, paragraph 10. What, though, of higher education received in a college or university? This is widely viewed as vital to success. Yet many who pursue such education end up with their minds filled with harmful propaganda. No. Wait. Harmful propaganda.
Are you going to make it through all this?
I don't know. Such education wastes valuable youthful years that could best be used in Jehovah's service. Perhaps it is not surprising that in lands where many have received such an education, belief in God is at an all-time low. Rather than looking to the advanced educational systems of this world for security, a Christian trusts in Jehovah. Well, I got to admit something. When I was 16, 17, in the state that I was born in, New Hampshire, and raised in, guy could quit school at 16 years of age because I didn't want my mind filled with harmful propaganda, so I quit school. Wait a minute. That was the harmful propaganda. Quit school and pioneer. Oh, yes. See, I had it all backwards. Watchtower filled my mind with harmful propaganda so that I quit school and pioneered. Now I'm 53 years old. I have no savings in life. I'm nothing but a laborer in life. In fact, for many years we washed windows and did janitorial, clean toilets because of harmful Watchtower propaganda. Whereas for my wife and I, when we had our daughter and she was turning 16, we let her quit school because of some bullshit Watchtower propaganda.
Well,
but we also went another direction with it.
No, I actually homeschooled Shyla.
Yeah, homeschooled her.
I homeschooled Shyla, and in the state we were living in, Arizona, you can take the GED and get your equivalent of the high school diploma at 16.
Right.
And she did that and passed. And then, as a good little witness, she decided to regular pioneer. So she did that for a few years and went to pioneer school. And then we started encouraging her to be thinking about a career, for her future and stuff. And I was going to bring this up later because, there's a clip where they're talking about... Yeah. But anyway, I'll bring this up now. we'll show the clip in a few minutes, but he makes the point of, you know, they're not serious about their education. They're either going to get their education because the parents are trying to get rid of them for 4 years, or they're going for recreation. And that is not the case. You know, to make a blanket, generic statement like this is just BS. Because Shyla wanted to learn, and, you know, she had known a sister that was deaf and was learning sign language, and she wanted to further this because it was a field that they really need interpreters. And for those of you who don't understand how difficult of a program this is, Shyla's class at Fox Valley Tech started with 28 students. And it is such a difficult 2 or 3 year course that only 6 graduated.
Out of 28.
Out of 28.
Yeah.
Now, Shyla graduated with honors.
Honors, exactly.
And, you know, top of her class. But,
that's
you
how
know,
difficult this program is.
Program. Not everybody can do this. But the minute she graduated, she was able to get a job for $30 an hour.
The minute she graduated, she didn't have to work up to that amount of money. The minute she got a job, boom, that's how much she's making.
Now that she's getting more degrees and more studying and, you know, all of this, you know, her pay has gone up quite a bit. But, you know, this was very difficult on the family because she had to travel 70 miles one way every day. And, you know, so this wasn't just to recreate, you know, or for us to get rid of her, because she was living at home and we were trying to support her, you know, so that she could get this education.
Well, you know, and I think it's pretty ignorant of Watchtower to make a blanket statement about those people wanting their children to get out of the house for 4 years and or, you know, party for 4 years. I think Watchtower watches too many Hollywood movies about kids going off to college.
I think they've seen the movie Animal House.
Animal House too many times, yeah. Because that's not what all...
Yeah.
That's not why people go to get educated. You know, some people may have a convoluted picture about going to college. I'm going to party. But no, most people that go to college or universities is to get educated so that they can get higher paying jobs. Just the economy demands that.
Yeah. And who is going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on this education if they're going there just to party?
Just to piss it away on party favors and partying all the time.
But Shyla's working towards her bachelor's degree, and when she gets her bachelor's, oh my goodness, I mean, her pay is just going to skyrocket. She doesn't know exactly how much more, but I mean, it's just, so, you know, for Watchtower to just do this blanket statement is just infuriating.
So for those that are non-Jehovah's Witnesses that happen to listen to this portion, you know, through all of the mocking, in this particular Watchtower, you really see how the mindset of Watchtower is towards higher education. They feel that you, as educators, are filling the minds of people with harmful propaganda. That's how Watchtower truly... Doesn't matter what this woman and what this couple says in this video about, oh, we do value higher education. It just depends on who it comes from. But no, in reality, they view higher education as, well, I'll quote it, many who pursue such education end up with their minds filled with harmful propaganda. That's quoted right from the 2008 Watchtower, April 15th, pages 3 through 4, and it's entitled Repudiate Valueless Things, which in the minds of a Jehovah's Witness, higher education is a valueless thing.
And, you know, this so-called divine education that they're trying to, you know, propagate in this video is just laughable. You know, I know we seem like idiots and clowns, but I mean, the truth of the matter is that we were told this our entire lives.
And we'll show some more clips, and we'll show you how valueless divine education has truly become.
Yeah. So let's go to the next clip.
We live in perhaps the most selfish time of all human history. And now you have students that come here, which is the epitome of unselfishness, being willing to do what they're asked to do by the organization.
Okay, first thing I noticed in this clip is doing whatever they're asked to for the organization.
I thought they were doing this for Jehovah.
Yeah, I guess
See,
not.
who do
It's
you
the
worship?
publishing company.
Who do you worship? Jehovah's Witnesses, Jehovah, or the organization? See?
Organization.
But I find it interesting that, you know, when he starts off, he says that we're living in the most selfish time in human history. Really?
I thought the pharaohs back in old Egypt were the selfish.
Yeah. You know, the thing is here in New Mexico, there's a state lottery, and a portion of those proceeds from the lottery go to scholarships for higher education. Now, that's not selfishness. They're making this money available unselfishly so that people can better themselves through education. And I'm sure that there's many other states that have a lottery that probably making some of these funds available also. So to make a blanket statement that we're living in, you know, the most selfish time in human history without qualifying that is pretty ignorant of Watchtower.
I think Hitler was pretty selfish too.
Hitler was selfish, yeah.
I mean, history is just loaded, you know.
It's
Napoleon.
not just the time that we're living in now.
Napoleon. I mean, you get
Exactly.
all of these dictators and stuff. Pretty damn selfish to me.
Yeah. So, anyhow, let's listen to some more of this propaganda.
Oh.
Amount of money that it would cost to get an education in this world that we're able to get, you couldn't put a real dollar amount on it.
Can't put a dollar amount on this education. I can.
My dear sister, one of these days you're going to wake up. One of these days you're going to realize that you have been educated through Watchtower propaganda and not true scriptural teaching. Prior to this, we didn't put the clip in here, but one of the instructors is talking about how he just, you know, his eyes light up when, you know, his students learn what he's teaching and everything else. And you know, the couple talk about the depth of the study and how much they appreciate God's word is alive and all this other stuff. But I want Jehovah's Witnesses to stop and think for just a minute. You call yourself Jehovah's Witnesses based on some scriptures in Isaiah. Rutherford come up with that back in the 30s or 40s, whatever time history that was. We're going to call ourselves Jehovah's Witnesses. Because, see, people back then studied the Bible. They understood. They knew what the Bible said. And all of a sudden, today's modern day Jehovah's Witnesses, we go from door to door knocking and we're trying to convert everybody. Hi, my name is Mike. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Bam, the door slams. People say, you don't believe in Jesus. You don't believe this and you don't believe that. You have your own little thing. But see, one day, sister, you're going to read this scripture. And then you're going to say, oh my God, we've had it all wrong. Acts chapter 1, verse 6. This is just before Christ ascended to the heavens. He said, when now they had assembled, they went asking him, this is his disciples, Lord, are you restoring the kingdom to Israel at this time? He said to them, in other words, Jesus, the Lord, said to them, it does not belong to you to get knowledge of the times or the seasons which the Father has placed in his own jurisdiction. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit arrives upon you, and you will be witnesses of me. Not Jehovah. You will be witnesses of me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the most distant part of the earth. This is Jesus Christ talking, sister. You're not going to get taught this in your Gilead school because what you're being taught is bullshit Watchtower propaganda that's not based on Scripture. Acts chapter 1, 4 through 8. You are supposed to be witnesses of Jesus, not Jehovah. See, Jesus is having a one-on-one conversation with his disciples.
It sounds like harmful propaganda to me.
It's harmful. They're not even preaching the proper gospel. They're preaching a different gospel, sister. This is what they're teaching you in Gilead School, Jehovah's Witnesses. They're teaching you a different gospel. Jesus said you will be witnesses of me, not Jehovah, to the most distant parts of the earth. Put that on your resume.
Some years back, there was an effort made to see how our curriculum corresponded with some of the universities and colleges. One of the questions that was asked to a university instructor was how we, in 5 months, could teach what it took them 2 years to teach. And I thought the worldly instructor had a good answer. He said, your students are dedicated. Your students are motivated. They come here to learn. He said their students are sent there by parents that want to get rid of them for 4 years, or they may have some other enjoyment, recreation in mind, but learning isn't one of their objectives.
And there you have it. He's watched too many National Lampoon movies.
I've got an issue with this because there again, we mentioned he's making just a blanket statement that they're not serious about their education. Baloney. You know, all of Shiloh's schoolmates are serious about their education.
Oh, yeah. You know, here's the thing. He makes this statement that a study was done several years back. He doesn't give the specific year. He doesn't give the specific university. He doesn't give the specific name of the educator.
Said this.
So basically, he's pulling his shit right out of his ass so that nobody in the world can confirm what he's saying. Now, if that's not propaganda, then I don't know what propaganda is.
Well, what educator in a college or university is going to say, because your students want to learn? I mean, really? Really?
Yeah, this Jehovah's Witnesses did something in 5 months that a college university can't do in 2 years. Give me a flippin' break. Like I said, this whole video is just it's all Watchtower bullshit propaganda. That's all it is. But if you're an educator in this world, listen to what they're saying. How much they despise education other than theocratic education.
Yeah.
See? Theocratic education is okay because it comes from Jehovah. Well, I just showed in the previous clip that they're not even preaching the gospel of Christ. Yeah, that's what their education's getting them.
Mikey's riled.
God. Well, it just this type of ignorance, there is no place for this in this modern day society. There is no place for this type of ignorance.
Well, that's why I would like for this to go out to the general public.
Yeah.
And for all the educators in college and universities to see this is how the witnesses think about you. This is why they discourage their kids from getting a higher education. And I mean, they even talk about this higher education in their secret elders flock book.
Yeah.
That if an elder allows a family member to go to college, then you should question his, qualifications.
If you're an educator of this world, this system of things, as they like to call it, you have to realize that what Jehovah's Witnesses are doing right now with this video, they are putting in place the next generation of leeches that are going to leech off this system of things. These people are not going to contribute to this system of things. See, the more money you make, the more you pay in taxes. The more you pay in taxes, maybe the better the government's going to work. But no. You just go get yourself a $10, $11 an hour job, pay the minimum amount of taxes, then you become a leech to the system of things. And that's what Jehovah's Witnesses, this is what the hierarchy of Jehovah's Witnesses are actually teaching these days.
And we want to qualify, we're not making a blanket statement of anyone that is on welfare or anything.
No, I'm not.
But we have seen cases to where elders will suggest to someone to quit school, pioneer, and get on welfare.
They did it to me.
And get on welfare.
You should spend more time preaching.
Yeah.
the system ain't going to last long enough for you to use that education. You don't need to become a sports star, because, you know, the new system is just around the corner, and, you know, you'll never get to play professional baseball before this system ends.
Well,
hell, I could have retired a multi-millionaire by now.
Well, we also had elders, you know, and elders' wives telling us when Shiloh was going to school in her interpreter program, well, why would you allow her to go to school for an interpreter? There's not going to be any deaf people in the new system.
But what about until that point?
That was what?
Yeah.
15 years ago?
Yeah, 15 years later.
Or at least 13 years ago?
Yeah, well,
something
whatever.
like that.
I mean, but still,
Yeah.
a significant amount of time came and went. And you know what? My daughter's not a leech on this system now.
Yeah. She supports herself.
Exactly.
And she's also supporting James while he goes to school.
Exactly.
So
there again, if you're an educator in this world, realize what Jehovah's Witnesses are doing right now to their young ones. They are discouraging any type of higher education that's going to better their lives. And we've got a little bit more to show how valueless divine education has become.
yeah.
When you work with the schools or in the service department, it's humbling, because you really see how Jehovah is the one directing everything. So while you feel it's a privilege to be able to help and educate the pioneers in this way, it's very humbling, because you really know that it's Jehovah doing the educating.
Okay.
Jehovah doing the educating.
It's really humbling to know that Jehovah is doing the educating. You know, I was really humbled when I was being educated by Jehovah. Page 159, starting and conducting home Bible studies.
And I've got the PDF of this if anybody
Yeah.
wants to read this Pioneer book.
You know, and really the whole thing about Jehovah's Witnesses isn't really about being educated by Jehovah. It's really about getting converts. But you know, I really find this person's comment, you know, it's really humbling to know you're being educated by Jehovah. Starting.
You've got a white spot that just keeps.
It's from the sun.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
That's a Holy Spirit trying to get right above my head and show a flame. But anyhow, let's talk about this educating by Jehovah.
And this is directed by Jehovah, too.
Yeah. You can live forever in paradise on earth.
Oh, Jehovah was directing them to use this study book for a long time.
Page 154. After drawing attention to the many things that have marked the period from 1914 onward, Jesus said, "This generation will by no means pass away until all these things," and in parentheses, Jehovah inserted, including the end of this system, will occur. Which generation did Jesus mean? He meant the generation of people who were living in 1914. Those persons yet remaining of that generation are now very old. However, some of them will still be alive to see the end of this wicked system. So, of this we can be certain. Shortly now, there will be a sudden end to all wickedness and wicked people at Armageddon.
Paragraph 8.
Jehovah's education taught me to preach this. When I went to Pioneer School to learn how to conduct effective Bible studies, I was using this book. Jehovah's information is now pointless because it's outdated, Watchtower. It's outdated. See, now there's no more value to Jehovah's education, is there, Watchtower? See?
Unless you're apostates and use it against them.
The same thing in your reasoning book. You did the same thing with the dates. Go into the section of dates and you pull the same end time prophecies. This generation will not pass away until all these things, including Armageddon. Do you see what Jehovah's education? Are you humble now, or are you thoroughly embarrassed that Jehovah's education has failed time and time and time again? It's failed, and it will fail again in the future because you're preaching a different gospel. As I brought out earlier, Jesus said you will be witnesses of me, not Jehovah, but Jesus Christ. That's why Watchtower is failing. That's why Watchtower will fail. Another reason why Watchtower does not want you to go to college and get a higher education. Let's just suppose for a minute you want to go and you want to study ancient history. Now, Watchtower believes that Jerusalem was destroyed in 607 BCE. They even printed several articles back in November of 2011. A footnote in the article on page 23. This is their little footnote. They say, what have experts said? R.H. Sack, a leading authority on cuneiform documents, states that the chronicles provide an incomplete record of important events. And then there's a little note, little asterisk. Note, none of the secular experts quoted in this article hold that Jerusalem was destroyed in 607 BCE. In fact, all the secular experts, all those that were educated
and quoted in this article,
all believe Jerusalem was destroyed around 587, 586 BCE. See, Jehovah is wrong about the dates because archaeological proof shows that Jerusalem was destroyed 20 years earlier or later. Earlier. Yeah, earlier. That's right. They counted back. Well, whatever.
Later.
587, 586, not 607. See, this is why Watchtower discourages higher education. Because when you become educated, you can see right through the Watchtower bullshit, the Watchtower propaganda. This guy has got the nerve to say, we're being educated by Jehovah. It's humbling to know that Jehovah is educating us. But yet, they're wrong on so many levels, even to the point to where they have to misquote an evolutionist to make it sound like he is pro-creation. See, that's the education that Jehovah's Witnesses are receiving in this world from Watchtower. It's absolutely valueless. It serves no purpose.
Well, I was going to say, how many witnesses read that little tiny footnote that's kind of tucked in between the picture there and the box?
They probably all read it, but it didn't. There was no comprehension. There was no comprehension among Jehovah's Witnesses.
Because back in 2011, I didn't read that little footnote. I was a good witness back then. I didn't read those little footnotes.
Here's even a bigger footnote in the same article. Business tablets exist for all the years traditionally attributed to the Neo-Babylonian kings. When the years that these kings ruled are totaled, and a calculation is made back from the last Neo-Babylonian king, Nabonidus, the date reached for the destruction of Jerusalem was 587 BCE. However, Watchtower says, this method of dating works only if each king followed the order in the same year without any break. The other in the same year without any breaks in between.
Now,
so Watchtower.
What empire goes with big, huge breaks in between their kings? No,
Nobody.
They have an heir ready to go and take over in case something happens to
hell.
their king. And it's not going to add up to 20 years.
No, there's been even times when children have murdered their fathers and they've taken the throne just like that. There's no but see, Watchtower is planting a false suggestion. See, this is Jehovah's education, people. See, this is humbling to be educated by Jehovah. They say, however, this method of dating works only. Then they offer no archaeological proof that there was ever any type of disruption in the Neo-Babylonian kingship.
Well, if they say they've got all of the business tablets that cover all those years,
Yeah.
and shouldn't there be saying, okay, well, there was a king in
There was
here
a king
that was
missing.
only,
Yeah.
there would be gaps. But no,
Exactly.
they say they've got the entire business tablet record. Okay, and it goes back to 587.
So if you're a secular educator in this world today, and you have Jehovah's Witnesses in your classroom, be it kindergarten through,
College.
well, not college, but K-12, okay, realize that these people are being brainwashed. Understand that these people do not value secular education that's going to make them good citizens of this community, of this world, of any community anywhere in the world. Because this is the bullshit that they're getting off of jw.org.
And they're going to tell their kids, oh, well, if the teacher says anything against the Bible or Jehovah's Witnesses, that they're from Satan's organization.
Yeah.
And it's harmful propaganda. So they're taught this from toddlers.
Yeah, but I just showed proof that Jehovah's education failed. Because those that were born in 1914 did not live to see Armageddon. They're all dead. This education, I went from door to door. I conducted so many friggin' Bible studies out of this book. I can't, in fact, if you get the book that I actually use to study, I got a whole list on the inside cover of everybody that I studied this book with. Jehovah failed. It's as simple as that. It's humbling to know that Jehovah's yeah. It's humbling to realize that you've been made a fool out of all your life. That's what's humbling.
One thing I did notice, and I don't think we had it in one of our clips, but he mentions that it's humbling, and we don't have an ego, and, to be submissive and humble. It's like, really? I've met quite a few elders and had quite a few run-ins with elders.
Oh, yeah.
And even some of the XJW community, I know who were elders that I've had run-ins with.
Oh, yeah.
And their ego is astronomical.
It's massive. It's absolutely mind-blowing how big their ego is.
Yeah, Brother Viagra tie in Wisconsin.
Oh,
My God,
God.
his ego, he was Ego Mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was just unbelievable. And, then they're saying that this education is humbling and, yeah, right.
It's all about control. It's about power and control. I've always said, even when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I've always made this, and I've made this public knowledge to even elders. The only way a government or any organization can control the masses of people is by two ways. You keep them uneducated or you keep them poor. That's how you control the masses.
And fear.
Yeah, well, it all becomes all related to fear.
Yeah.
It does. Because you keep them uneducated, and then they fear what you have to say because they are uneducated. They become fearful because they think you know more than them.
I don't know about you, Mikey, but I think I've had just about enough of this JWTV.
This JWTV is...
divine education thing. That's about all I can take.
Sesame Street does a better job than this.
Yeah, I'd like to see Cookie Monster review this
Yeah.
clip. So, all right, guys. I'm going to try to get Mikey to calm down.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said before, for this type of ignorance has no place in this modern day society. It just does not.
Yeah. And so we hope you enjoy this rant.
I know I did.
I found it it quite humorous myself. Especially some of those clips, you know. So if you want a good laugh, go to JWTV and watch this. You know.
Yeah, watch the entire. I mean, it's only about 5-6 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's
something.
it's sad.
The title is The Divine Education.
Yeah,
and
and
like
it's
that.
truly sad how Watchtower truly does not evaluate education.
And it's sad of how brainwashed all of us were. You know,
Yeah.
that's the sad part. Because when he was going to Pioneer School, you know, same thing. Oh, what a blessing from Jehovah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you all have
Bye.
a good evening and hope you have a good week.